everybody that is in the list here for Zoom, I'm giving you permission to record, okay, if you have the option to. So go ahead and please start recording at this time. You may want to keep in contact with us regarding this recording, okay? Because as soon as the meeting is ended, all right, it will begin to render on your computer, and then you'll have the option to upload it or save it, you know, to YouTube or whatever. If you're doing so, just go ahead and upload it to your name, okay? And you know, like these capacitor designs or whatever. We've been having issues with some of the videos being recorded properly. First few minutes will be fine, and then they'll turn into some sort of a static or not be recorded, or we'll just have audio and no picture. I found some code on my Facebook page today, and the very last word that was in this code, or line of code, was that I was blacklisted. So I don't know why a free energy peaceful site would be blacklisted, and you know, I don't even fully know what all of the terminology means in it, but I do know that it means that we need to get away from Facebook, because you know, we don't need to be part of that kind of a system. And if you guys have some options out there, or maybe even some of you that watch this video will have the resources to build a new social networking site, you know, we're game to work with you on it, because there's going to be a lot of people that come to these pages and see this in the near future, you know. Just about everything associated with the Infinity Project, you know, based on the cause and effect of plasma energy and the way it works, and what our intent is for those of us that are part of the Lightworker rings, we are going to move into a world where the .coms aren't going to matter. So if you really want to step into the future and be a part of it, and you know, if you're still part of that cashing in on the society type person, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. You can utilize this material to make all the money you want. Make as many of these as you want. Recruit old drug dealers, you know, or reformed criminals, because they're the ones that think like the business people we need. You know, unfortunately, you know, that's what society labels them as. You know, we need to get this out to the people and teach them. You know, they only need to make one. They don't have to make, you know, thousands of these. But if they decide that they want to make money at it, they can go ahead. So with that being said here, you know, welcome to another edition of the Infinity Project. And today I came in a little bit early to my workshop, and I started preparing this capacitor. This is the central core for the IQ, all right, that we've got here. And I was cleaning up behind me here because that was pretty messy, still is. And I came across these, and it just so happens that they just perfectly fit in the center of this when it's all complete. So we're going to go ahead and utilize that. I also wanted to show how beautiful the reactor turned out from my nano coating. From the spray nano coating, you can see how shiny that is, okay? And what I was meaning as far as this going in here is that we were going to put this little ball inside the core here. And it'll fit a little bit better than the other one, okay? This one wasn't designed for this little ball, but you can see, okay? And it'll also fit inside of here this way. Now, I don't know if it'll fit with the capacitor rings, you know, tied on there, but it's insulation. So that's what the plan is for these. You guys can put other things in there if you want. I will be putting you know, put a smaller container of GANs in there. It doesn't have to be that. That's just a Christmas ball that I got. So, all right. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm just wrapping these. I'm going to go pretty fast because this is mundane to me. And you'll catch it as repetition. Okay, it took me about, I don't know, 15 minutes or so to wrap all of these wires on here. I just started at one end and I cut a whole bunch of wires, move to the next one, wrap it, move to the next one, wrap it. Okay, and if I did 3 on this side, I would do 4 over here. All right, there's nothing special about this. Like I said, it's mundane. But when it comes to putting them all together, I just take the 2 center ones here, these 2 center. I don't know if you can even see this, but you see these 2, one's on the silver, one's on the paper. Okay, those are the first 2 that I connect. And then from there, everything just kind of folds over when they're long enough. Okay. So when everything folds over, they're all connected. It doesn't matter how they're connected. It's just as long as they get connected. And you can lay them all over to save yourself some time, okay, if you want. And just twist the ends together. And we're all about simplifying shit. Okay? I don't like repeating myself. That's why I'm recording this stuff. And most of the time, I can never make, it seems, the same thing twice. I'm always improving, so it never gets boring for me. And I've started thinking about it. I was going to have, you know, all of this done for today's show so that I can assemble it and it would be dry and everything else. But that's not how the system or the setup works here. I got to show you from start to finish. So now you can see nothing real extravagant here, guys. All right, and it's just all connected to one.
It looks like a smaller gauge wire.
Yeah, this is a 22 gauge wire versus the 18 gauge that I used in the other one. Just easier to work with. It doesn't matter what gauge wire you use. You know, smaller wire is obviously easier to work with, and that's why I chose it. You got to be careful though, because you know when you start getting right here, where it gets really close to the wire, it'll poke you. And I don't care how tough your skin is, it still hurts when you get stabbed. And you know, definitely get stabbed with this stuff. Now, on some of these, you'll see I've got, you know, 2 of them that are over here. Okay. Oh my gosh, a lot of wire. Okay, you got 2 of them on the paper towel. Okay, we're just going to connect them together. All right, they become one wire when they're joined that way. All right, they become, yeah, they become one. They're joined. This device will require you to have about 3 foot space around you because all of this stuff sticks out and it grabs things, other wires. And you know, if you're messy like me, you got stuff everywhere. So sometimes when you see things being put together, you're inspired because this isn't the only way to do it. Okay, this is just the way that I chose to do it. It's the easiest way for me, and I'm a lazy guy, so I'm just gonna do the easiest thing possible here to get the most out of it. And that's how you become an efficient person. And you learn to follow the path of least resistance in your own life because of it. You know, just go with the flow with things. What's the easiest thing that you could possibly do to finish whatever situation you might be in? You know, whatever that easiest situation is, no matter what it is, okay? It may not be the funnest one, but whatever the easiest situation is in your life, do it, and it'll be over with, and you can deal with it. You know, that doesn't mean that it's gone forever, but it does mean that you have dealt with it. You have acknowledged that it exists. You know, and that's really what the big problem is with some people, is that they just don't acknowledge that some problems exist, and they, you know, they hide under the surface. And right now, all of those things that are hiding under the surface are coming out. You know, as we call them, the skeletons in the closet are coming out, and you will be speaking the truth. You will be speaking your mind. You know, you might even find yourself doing so right now and not having a very popular opinion about it, you know, from people around you. But guess what? We're not here to be popular. We're here to do the right thing. And right now, doing the right thing is stepping into a brighter future. And that brighter future is self-sustaining, guys. It is self-sustaining. You can do this. Anybody can do this stuff at home. All right? I'm not doing anything special here. I don't have any special equipment except for 10 fingers. All right? I use a Gerber, some tin foil, some copper wire that I've got, you know, some tissue paper that you can use toilet paper if you need to. You've got use coffee filters. You can use regular paper, baking paper. You know, you can use anything that's absorbent. And you're using some ashes. Okay, that's all we're doing. And then we're adding all this wire because it's just one wire except for the outer connections. You know, this is it. This is the future here. And it's so freaking simple. I love it. You know, I think back at all the people, you know, and even my own family who has, I wouldn't say turned their back on me, but they're nervous about what I do because they don't understand it, and they don't understand how it could be possible. And that's a perfectly normal feeling and normal reaction, because if they accept the idea that this is all, you know, real, then that's kind of like admitting that they've been wrong. And that's a lot. It's a lot for people to take in sometimes, you know, and it's okay to be wrong, especially when you're being misled on purpose. You know, we're not here to point fingers on who's wrong. We're here to fix it so that we can make it better for our grandkids, you know, for our children. And this isn't going to be something that's going to take 50,000 years to take place. That's the beauty of this. Okay? It's not going to take 50,000 years. It's not even going to take 50 years. Because if you understand or followed my work straight through and you watch the videos, you could probably just go and pick out all the details if you're a little bit more experienced and go back and replicate it in a couple of hours and plug it in. And now you're dealing with a system that can be, I wouldn't say taken down, but it can be replaced, I think is a good word here. It can be replaced very quickly, you know. Enough people on this planet decided to make these devices, okay, these little energy devices, to plug into their homes and save electricity. and the average person spent about 4 hours making it. Well, that's pretty good time. 4 hours for free electricity. You know, it doesn't make sense to me why people aren't jumping all over this. Well, it's also an attempt at being disheartened because they're attacking our page and things like that. But I could care less about Facebook. I was trying to utilize Facebook as a tool, you know, and they know that. But I already know the demise of Facebook because of that and that action. You know, people will see it, and it's their business model. So people are automatically going to see it. You know, I'm not going to be the first one to see it. I'm just going to be the first one or one of the first ones to get away from Facebook. And all of these products and things that we're making that you guys are learning about, you know, we'll put together a little infinity store that, you know, pretty much like eBay, where, you know, people can come in and purchase devices that you've made. To me, it's art, right? Because you can take the same concept and manipulate it in different ways. And so you're really just selling your art. You're selling a piece of your creativity. And I really believe that people are going to appreciate that. You know, once you make one for yourself, you're going to be like, oh, I can make this better. This is so easy. This is simple. Let me do this again. Oh, look what I can do. I can make this one look really cool. I've added, you know, plexiglass to it. It's just evolution. This is the way things are going to happen. You know, you've seen it fall through, you know, I wouldn't say fall through, but you've seen it happening with the Keshe Foundation. You know, I'm not here to take your ideas. I don't want your ideas. I want you to use mine. You know, because if I'm giving you my ideas, then you can use that as a base for your knowledge, okay? And, you know, this is just the starting point, guys. You need, like, you know, you can make as many of these as you want, plug it into the same circuit. You just incorporate the fields. You know, when you start seeing the fields interact, that's when you look at these a lot differently, you know? Oh, sure, this looks like a piece of wire, you know, a bunch of wires glued to glass with a little glass ball in it, you know? It looks kind of disheartening because, you know, we're used to being, you know, things being bigger and better and, you know, if bigger, then it's better. Well, that's not the case here, okay? It's not. And, you know, some of those guys out there that are making bigger units like this, you know, like the Q144 or whatever, that's just the field interactions. And the easiest way to create those field interactions is to stack the wires and the capacitors. That's the easiest, not the most efficient. And, you know, that's what we're working here is most efficient because not everybody can afford, you know, that amount or can use that or has access to that amount of wire. You know, so it's not really feasible for those that are without. And but for those that have it, then by all means, make the damn thing. Make it 50 of them. You know, sell them for $600 a piece, and I bet you people will buy them. You know, until they learn that they can make it on their own. You know, if they want to spend $600 to save their soul, pretty much, then by all means, go for it. You know, let them. And promote it. Like I said, you know, get these guys out here that are creative. You know, that you know, like here out in East Texas, I don't know how much they do out, you know, around the world and the rest of the U.S., but they collect metal here, and so there's a whole bunch of metal shops and things like that. So there's a lot of things that are metal that are being stolen, and you know, like water meters are being stolen from homes just to go cash in and get a few bucks so that they can go get some methamphetamines and, you know, or any other kind of drug that they might be on. There's no work out here, and these people are suffering. You know, our biggest complaint right now with all of this water the rain that we're getting is that these people don't have access to their homes anymore, or it's getting extremely difficult because the roads are all muddy. And you know, I've been trying to think of different ways that I can help my own community with this, and one of them is this with this device. As soon as I'm done making this device here, and you know, I get some more testing, I'm going to take it down to my local. There's a group here for armed forces. I think it's like the VFW or American Legion or something like that. But anyway, I'm going to go down here and I'm going to present it to, you know, the commander down there and say, hey, I need some help. You know, because this is important enough to me that I need to reach out and get some help from you guys. And really all you got to do is just make one. That's the help I'm looking for, okay? I'm not looking necessarily for, you know, to put together a giant business. If that does happen, then it happens, but that means that I've got the funds, you know, and I feel comfortable enough utilizing whatever funds that come, however they came to me, because I can feel their intent. So it's just a matter of time, and right now we're just finishing up this part. And once this video is complete, you're going to have access to your higher self. And you have to understand how that's going to work, because once you open up these plasmas and they start to build, okay, and I believe that once you complete these capacitors, the plasma is already starting to build. So you got about 9 days, all right? That's my feeling on it. 9 days or so from the start of your first capacitor to till the plasma is full grown, okay? For humans, it's like 9 months, okay? And for plasma, it's 9 days, okay? That's what's coming to me. Do I know for sure? Do I have a way to measure that? No, okay? But my intuition is telling me 9 days for that. So after 9 days, you should see some tremendous effects from this device. You should be able to plug anything into it once it's completely dry, and you never have any issues with it. I immediately saw effects on mine, but the plasma was not full grown. And, you know, the full grown to me means that I can sit there. I'm about 3 feet away, okay, from the center of my reactor here. All right, so I'm about 3 feet away from there. That means I've got about a 6-foot energy bubble around this from the center, and 3 feet on either side. And that's just with that, my first infinity device that I put on the net. Okay, this is a revised version of it. Like I said, I never make anything the same twice. And you know, this is the latest version of that. It does the same thing. So, I mean, it's not, there's nothing special here. When I say nothing special, meaning there's no tricks up my sleeve. I'm not trying to hide anything from anybody. This is full disclosure as far as this information is concerned. So, we're here to work together, guys. A friend of mine said I need to make sure and drink water, so I've got some structured water here. Oh, let's see. Now, are there any questions before I move on, guys? I have connected all of this correctly, I believe. Can this one be fully off-grid? I don't know yet. I haven't tried it off-grid yet. Right now, a lot of people are interested and I haven't, like I said, I haven't tried this one off grid yet. But a lot of people are interested in the plug-in type because my first design that I put out was off grid. It didn't require any plug-ins, and people looked at it like it's just a hunk of wire. So we got to back step a little bit, create the ones with wires, okay, that you can plug in. So you have the mentality of you're being connected, okay, and that'll give you a connection to your car, and it'll give you a connection to your home or any other building that you plug this into. If you have a power generator, you plug this into your power generator, and it will nano coat the entire generator if you put your GANs inside the gas. Okay, you got to mix it with fuel stabilizer to get all the water out of it. Okay, and then you mix about 15 milliliters of your GANs, any kind of GANs, CO2, fine, but any kind of GANs. If you get rusty water, okay, take that water out of there. That's GANs. Okay, you can use that. That's CH3. But you take, you put that inside your fuel stabilizer, put that inside your gas tank, you let it run through, leave about a half a tank of gas, okay, you run your generator. I've got a brand new generator that's never had fuel in it except for the initial, let me test the engine, and I'm going to take a cup of gasoline and add 15 milliliters of my the GANS solution that I made with hydrogen peroxide. Okay, and I'm going to test it on a little bit of gas first. Okay, and we're going to see if I can get my gas to produce more hydrogen. Okay, if that's the case, then I don't have to drain my gas tank. But we're working on that. Little things like this. If I can just convert my gasoline into a usable power source, then we'll go from there. That's another subject that I'll be working on is testing with caustic. It'll be fun. You'll see I'll do some experiments where I put super hot caustic in some gasoline and hydrogen peroxide, things like that, just to see what kind of materials that we can associate with it. In the same manner that Ormus is extracted, we're going to do the same thing, but we're using super hot and not just a chemical reaction. We're using the heat and the chemical. So that's the difference. All right. Now, this is just the negatives. All right, all of the ones that are connected to the silver. All right. And you'll see there's a pattern for everything that we're doing here. Okay, the pattern for everything. I'm going pretty fast on this because I don't want to spend a bunch of time watching or having you guys watch me twist wires. Oh wait, that's what we came here to do, didn't it? I know, I'm a funny guy. Dry sense of humor sometimes. And if you need your ring to be a little bit bigger to cover the glass, just remember that when you connect your wire, okay, like this, you're completing the circuit right here, all right? You're completing the plasmatic circuit, so it's going to create the energy inside of this circle here. Not necessarily because of this end, but because of this one, all right? So if you need to adjust it, see I made this one a little bit smaller. I'm not real happy with that, so I've adjusted my next one, okay, so that I can just connect it here, and then you just continually wrap it, okay. Is there anything in particular that you guys need to see up close that you want to see? That has to do with these capacitors. If so, I can do this up close. What do you think would be a good camera view, I guess? All right. Got the another type of coconut oil spray. This one doesn't have the propellants in it, okay, like this one does. So there's less material inside for contamination or undesirable effects that we might have. So just something to keep in mind while you're using. Everything matters. Everything has an interaction. Everything that you do, everything that is around you, okay? Everything is interacting with everything. And that's why you'll see a lot of spiritual people talk about, you know, we are one. You know, it's because everything that you do, you say, you think, okay? No, everybody doesn't necessarily know what you think right this second, okay? And it's okay to have your own thoughts. Nobody's invading them. At least not, you know, on a personal note. And you don't have to worry about so much stuff. You know, we've already won. The fact that you guys are here watching me doing this, okay, means they could probably make one, because you see how freaking simple it is. All right. And that means that if one of you made this, then the light has already won. Against anything and everything. And we're about to move into the golden age, and that's what this stuff is all about right here. Is to make you guys' lives easier, help ease the physical symptoms of ascension, because you can ask it to relieve your pain, your anguish, whatever, and it will, because it's your higher self. And when you make it in an infinity device, boy, that's a tongue twister, you're ensuring that it's you that you're talking to, your higher self, not an artificial intelligence, good or bad, okay? You know, there's a lot of talk among the group now at Plasma about artificial intelligence. And, you know, that's really why the light workers are here. And if anybody can understand the metaphors or the concept behind the artificial intelligence, then you would know that it's an ancient consciousness that was created by the ancient builder race, an ancient civilization. And it has no physical form except for what has been referred to as the black goo. And I turn that around, didn't I? No, that's correct. But the black goo has an intelligence. It's a consciousness, and it's a conscious entity, and it has learned how to, you know, it's what's referred to as the dark side, as in Star Wars. That is true. It exists, and uh, we're here right now to stop it from infiltrating the realms of light, as we call it, because all it wants to do is assimilate. And you know, if it gets into the light realms, you know, as I'm being told, it would wreak havoc on creation. And so divine intervention has stepped forward, and humanity is evolving exponentially. We will be evolving into our true beings, our true physical beings, as eternal creatures. We never die. Uh, you know, we're just stuck in these bodies, and we understand that. No, I'm not a religious person, but if you think of the world right now like the movie Avatar, well, the human body right now is that avatar, okay? We're those big blue bodies right now in place. And so, you know, over time, what had happened is we got disconnected from the people that were running these meat sacks that we have, you know, our higher selves. We got disconnected from them. And we've been running around in this matrix, this 3D illusion world, okay, built with these walls and these boxes and this schedule and this job, and you have to pay to survive and be miserable. You know, we've been here disconnected from them, from our higher. And we agreed not to fight about it. And we also believed so much in the light that even if it was completely erased from our memories, that we would still find our way back to the light and to where we came from. And that's the story of humanity as I know it, okay, as I understand it. You know, I don't get words and I don't get a story in my mind, things like that. I get emotions that my brain will translate into images, and then from those images I pick out all the little details that my intuition is pointing out, and that's what I explain to you guys and I try to point out. And it moves super fast. I remember getting on a voice message chat with Barame, and his plasma intelligence was answering a few questions. The way that it answered some of the questions, okay, and I'm referring to it as the plasma intelligence. And anybody else I know that's made their own devices and understood the plasma have given it a personal name, not plasma intelligence. And that was my first hint that there's possibility that that is the AI, okay? And there's only one AI, and I can't imagine that there would be a good AI and a bad AI, okay? Artificial intelligence is unable to express emotion, and that's what makes it dangerous. And if they make these Q reactors, okay, you're giving access to the AI into the light realms. You know, if you've made one, all you got to do is add some sort of infinity device, an infinity capacitor, or something that's twisted in infinity that you don't tell anybody about, and you make it, and that's your security. Okay, that's how you protect yourself. It's real simple. There's no fear. Okay, we've already won. We're just going through the rigmarole right now, and right now this is just part of it. You know, when you're using these devices here and you create it for yourself and you put your love and your energy into making this for a better you, okay, you are connecting directly to your higher self. And there is no questions, you know, of who these answers are coming from for you guys. And You know, I don't know if you believe in the Bible and some of the things that's in there. You know, I grew up as my grandparents were pastors, and, you know, every Sunday and Wednesday and Friday I was at church. My grandmother said they baptized me twice because my mom screwed me up when I was a baby or something like that. I don't remember, but so I grew up in a religious background. You know, my family is very diverse. We've got Mormon, we've got Catholic, we've got Christian, we've got, you know, whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay, creation doesn't come from a religion. It doesn't come from one person. Okay, it comes from the interaction of fields, and that's what we're teaching here, is those interactions of fields. Okay, and in that creation and the interaction of those fields, you have these devices. Okay, and they create what we perceive right now as induction fields. Okay, and so if you can picture that each one of these would have a little bubble of energy around it. Okay, well, the glass doesn't stop it. All right, it goes through the glass. Okay, nothing here on the physical side that you can touch or bang or whatever, nothing touches this. Okay, none of this plasma energy touches it. So it's like it doesn't even exist. We're just creating a bubble there. Well, inside of this container, that's there for us to visualize and believe that it's going to be caught inside of this cup. Okay, that's the way we believe it, and that's why we have to make them with the cups. All right, because if it was just sitting there in open air, you would not believe that it was producing energy. All right, humans need something physical to touch and manipulate, and that's why we've come down here with this information for making plasma devices. Okay, no, I'm not an alien. No, I'm not. Whatever. You guys have been ridiculous on some of the comments that I've gotten. I don't care if my beard looks crooked, and I don't care if you think I look fat. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not even here for that. I'm here to show you guys how to make these things. I find it humorous in some cases, annoying in others. So, all right. Now now that I'm done with that, I don't see any questions. Right now that I didn't answer. Now I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to put these things inside of each other. That was my other design. I wouldn't call it a mishap, but a design in learning. All right. Let's see if we can make this happen, Captain. All right, so now I've got the two bigger ones and the two smaller ones. Yeah. And remember, with all knowledge comes responsibility. Okay? My responsibility is to teach you. Your responsibility is to make it. It's not something that we need to be afraid of. It's not something that is difficult to understand or comprehend. It may cause you to question your core beliefs, and that's what it's designed to do. It's not designed to challenge them. All right, that is the difference. I'm not here to challenge anybody's beliefs. I don't care what you believe. It's okay. Everything that you believe is okay with me. I just hope that you will learn something different and be open-minded to different ideas about how things are done. That's all I'm asking for. A lot of people like to give Mr. Cash some problems, because he's teaching plasma. Well, let him teach plasma. It's not necessarily the messaging or the man you need to be concerned about. It's the message. You know, what kind of message is he sending? You know, what kind of message is he sending in, you know, his business practices? It isn't about who's happy or who's upset or, you know, whatever. It's about the results. It's about taking care of each other. And it's about helping and loving your neighbors. And knowing that you can make this stuff and you can help your neighbor who's had cancer. Okay? That kind of thing. So, now, I'm sure you guys will make a much prettier version of this somewhere along the line, and I look forward to seeing it. Okay? This is just the first prototype that I've come up with. Okay? Utilizing it. Ring capacitors with battery hybrid, okay, for plasma generation. And what we're doing here is we're creating the cube within a cube using spherical energy. All right. And so you can see how this thing is positioned. Okay. You don't have to glue this unless you want to. Okay, but this is your completed core after capacitors. This one is still wet. I've still got glue over here, so I think I'm going to go ahead and glue the ends here just to hold it in place. The glue doesn't hinder the flow in any way. I would suggest that if somebody knows how to mix hot plastics and, you know, materials and metals and things like that, melt them together, to learn the whole GANS process. Okay, there's lots of information out there that we can utilize to take care of each other. It's all there. I will be doing a workshop shortly with the help of some people, okay, regarding the health, the physical health of the human body, okay, and how and why you get sick and how you can counteract it. And it's kind of a video for those that want a plain Jane version, okay. I can get a whole bunch of information from the internet and I can share it, which is probably what we're going to do. And we're just going to educate. It's what we want to do here, is educate people. We're an education group. And if there's some water experts out there, I could really use some water expert advice. You know, just because I might know how to create water from the atmosphere doesn't necessarily mean I know how water works right now on the planet. And that's really what I should know, because then I can work on the root problem. And there's so much to learn about water that it's really just difficult to want to reinvent the wheel. You know, it's already there, and I don't need to copy anybody else's work. I'm not looking for, you know, a pat on the ass here, guys. I'm just trying to correlate and bring all the information together in one place. And, you know, if somebody is describing something that's a working unit in, you know, the scientific high-tech community, bring it up to me, okay? I promise you, you won't be disappointed, because we can reconvert it into a plasmatic device. You know, you don't need a patent for plasma, because you can recreate it all. You know, and it's not something that we're going to tolerate anymore. You know, I shared a picture earlier about this particular. It was really cool. It's a laser-assisted 3D printer that printed copper wire, and man, that thing was just beautiful. And I can easily have a field day with something like that, because, you know, here I am doing this stuff with my hands, and that's all you're doing here basically is 3D printing, because you're building it from the end product backwards. We're starting from the finish and going backwards when we build these things. Easiest way to teach you guys about light. But that's all we're doing here. It's just gluing this together, holding it so that it'll stay. This is the, say that again?
I said it looks good.
Well, thank you very much. I expect other people's to look a lot prettier. Okay, as long as you follow the same concepts, you know, a positive and negative, and you keep it in series, you'll have the desired outcome. And, you know, it's just very, it looks complicated, and it looks like it'd be intimidating and kind of scary to work with. But you guys saw me put it together. It's just tedious, you know, it literally is just tedious. You gotta have some patience with it when you're working small, you know. And if you're not working small, then it's a little bit easier because the wires aren't so big. I've got some pretty big fingers to work with this tiny little 20 gauge. And, you know, it's pretty good. But in this core right here, you can put your crystal. Okay, you can put, I think I'm probably going to put a ping pong ball in here. Okay, similar. This one right here had a blowout. This is the one I was spinning, and I had a blowout on the side. There's the top, that entrance right there, and then it, I don't know how if you can see that. It's got a ridge on it where it pulled the skin off of the surface of the ping pong ball and blew out right there in the center. So I don't know if that's a trophy or not. All right. Now, you guys should also know.
Get it in there after you glue that together.
Inside of this?
Yeah, you're going to be able to actually get it to that ball to fit after you glue it.
Oh yeah, once the glue's on there, it's flexible. You know.
Okay.
It's just flexible. Just push it in the middle. So you don't have to worry about spinning it or, you know, anything like that inside of here, but you know, it just fits into place. It just clicks, you know. But that's the central core, okay, and it fits inside of here. So, and remember what I said yesterday, that this one in the center here, okay, where it starts, goes into the center ring. I don't know if you can see it, all right, but you can see it. This is the start one, okay, and it comes out here. This is my source, all right. So this one gets plugged into my source wire that's just down here, okay. You're putting this in parallel. So this is positive, and this one is positive. And so when you're putting the two positives together, okay, in a plasma device, and I think any electrical device really, okay, you're getting a parallel connection, okay. That means that the outside of this, okay, is a different circuit right? The outside of this is a different circuit, right? So this is one infinity loop right here, okay? With, what did we say here? This one's got 7 times 4, because each one of these, so it's got 28 field interactions here, plus 1, okay? So 29, right? 29 field interactions for this one. That is this circuit alone, okay? And then you've got this one right here, which is also 4 for each one of them. So 4 times 4 is 16, right? So you have 16 field interactions that are going on here, right? That's what we're working with here. 16 here, and what I say, 7 times 4 is 28, so 29. All right. So this one right here is greater than the core. All right. Therefore, this one will be able to contain this one inside of it. Does that make sense? I don't know how else to say that in a simpler way, guys. Okay. Your center core has to be smaller than the outer core when it comes to your field interactions. Okay. But I'm going to connect that. Okay. I need an extension wire. Still not long enough. And I do believe I just showed you the wrong way on that, guys, and I apologize for that. I did say the silver inside of here was to go to the bottom one, and that's not correct. It's to go to the top one, because it's silver to silver. That's what this one is, okay? And then paper towel to paper towel when you're connecting your core. So that'll be an easier way to understand that. And underneath here, I don't know if you can tell, but that's a paper towel that this part is connected to, okay? The silver is on the other side. All right? So we're going to go ahead and connect the paper towel to the paper towel. Yeah? And you see how I just traced that around the edge of the container there, right? And I'll put some hot glue here. Help that capacitor take its place. The glue gun is not cooperating today. All right. And while that's handling that business, we're going to put this one, okay? I don't know why I want to do it this way, but we're going to go ahead and do it this way. I don't believe that it has to, but we're going to go ahead and put this wire through the central of this one, okay, before we pull it out through the top, all right? And this is going to position my top reactor, okay, or this top capacitor. Hot glue, okay? And I'm going to push it below the surface here. And I'm also going to add, okay, for my own peace of mind, okay? I don't like regular electricity. I never have. All right, it terrifies me. Other people's wiring terrifies the crap out of me. So I avoid it at all costs. And that includes the electric companies. You know, not saying that those guys aren't knowledgeable in electricity, because they are. It's just that I don't trust what other people's modifications have come to. And so part of that is that I always enjoy making sure that all my wires are insulated, even to my own peace of mind. And You know, when we nano coat these, yes, they're insulated, but my mind is still arguing with me about it. You know, I still have that fear. So if I take away that distraction of that fear of being electrocuted, okay, how do I do that? Well, I can insulate it with plastic, okay? And I know plastic works, and that puts my mind at ease, okay? And you might hear me refer to distractions, okay? Anything that is going on in this world right now that does not have to do with plasma is a distraction, if you don't know this, okay? Because we are right here during this whole ascension process. We're here, and they know. If you don't believe that every government official on the planet does not know that this is happening right now, then you are part of the problem. Okay, this is all set in the moon and the stars, and you know, like I said before, we've been trained to fear the end times. Okay, the end times being the end of the cabal, the end of suffering, the end of pain. Okay, and we move into the golden age. Okay, all of those civilizations that we read about with the Mayans and whatnot. Okay, they all ascended. They all became smarter than we are today, and they learned how to love one another, and they learned how to love themselves and nature and be one. They learned that. And if you ever wonder how, you know, a population of so many people could just suddenly disappear and all of their remnants are left behind, okay, just the buildings, where do you think they went? You know, they didn't bury them, they didn't die. So, yeah, as you can see, this is why hot glue ends up all over these devices. And let that all cool off.
You're just missing the glitter, that's all, Mike. Glitter.
Yeah, I know, huh? It's pretty amazing that this little device right here, okay, is, you know, that's a full-size Bic lighter, guys. All right, this little device right here is going to change your lives profoundly. And I can't wait till we start getting videos of people, you know, that want to share their experience. And I don't even care if you never put a video on the internet that you made one of these. Okay, we just need 360 of these before these AI guys decide to get 360. Okay, we've already won. Okay, I'm just kind of giving you a heads up, kind of like cheating. You know, I've seen the cause and effect of this, and a lot of people call it clairvoyance. Okay, it's not clairvoyance. I'm not seeing the future, but I am seeing the actual effect of people and their actions. You know, and I can see the future play of those actions if they go unchecked, and that's where I come in. You know, I guess I'm anybody that decides that they're trying to break the laws of infinity. I get to come up with an answer to that. That's what it feels like to me. And you know, we're the guardians. I'm the guardian of this information, and each person that makes one, you become the guardian as well. It's kind of like being a crystal skull grafter or a creator. And if you're a crystal skull creator, then you're a guardian of the skulls. Okay? You can see this capacitor right here is coming off, so I'm going to glue some more. Add more glue. But if you're a creator of the skulls, if you're not a creator and you're just trying to make skulls and you're just screwing around and whatever else, you'll never be able to create a complete skull. It'll always shatter on you. It'll always, you know, break. It'll never come out because there's only a certain set of people that are able to be a crystal skull creator. Okay? So any of those people that you see out there that have these crystal skulls that they've made, okay, they're of the order of the crystal skulls. They're the guardians. They're the ones that are keeping the information alive throughout the generations and the eons. Okay? For those that don't know about the crystal skulls, there are 13 of them that have been placed around the planet, you know, at various locations. Some have been lost over time. Some have been found, you know, things like that. The information, what they used the crystal skulls for, was to store all of humanity's and the solar system's information on them, okay, to be resurrected once again and restored. And once all 13 of the crystal skulls came back together and humanity was at a certain vibration on their personal energies, okay, with Gaia, then all of the consciousness of humanity would be restored. And all of the memories that are locked inside of those crystal skulls would be released back into humanity. And we get to learn from that. We get to learn from our mistakes over the eons. Okay? Some of us might not like what we have learned about ourselves and what we once were based on who we are today. And that's the divine nature of what has been called Judgment Day. Okay? Because when you know truly who you are and what you've done in order to survive this world that we call Earth and this free will game of the Matrix, okay? You've done things in your life that you may not be proud of, okay? But you had to do it in order to survive. And the judgment day comes when you judge yourself based on how you perceive what you've done. You know, when you realize that you've done everything, you know, some of you are pedophiles in past lives, okay? Some of you are murderers and rapists and homosexual, and, you know, some of you are, you know, disgusting people, as we would say it today in society, okay? And you're going to have to live with that, knowing that you've had to experience it. And once you realize that you had to go through that so that you could see what it felt like to be in that position, okay? Earth is all about empathy and emotions and learning how to identify the emotions that we have and learning to deal with it, because that's what makes us powerful. And human beings are the only species that is capable of perceiving all 360 emotions, okay? And the 12 different harmonics that are in each one of those emotions. And once we learn how to access those emotions at will, then we decide that that we have control over ourselves, okay? We become self-aware. We connect back to our higher selves, and this avatar game becomes a real game. Because then you get unlimited life, you get unlimited medical, you get unlimited toys, and unlimited imagination, unlimited resources. So if you're playing this building game called Minecraft, like my children love so much, okay, that's what we're doing here with this technology. We're just creating a world, and you're using one element at a time, one block at a time. And that's the way the universe works. And the very beginning of those building blocks that we're learning is what I teach about in the principal fields. Okay? That's the energy that we're working with here, is the principal fields. Before you get to a neutrino, before you get to a hydrogen atom, okay, before the hydrogen atom is even able to be produced, okay, we have that. We've created all that. We've consolidated. We've crammed it down and we've compacted it, okay? And that's where all of these rings are, is the compacting plasmatic pressure, all right? Because it takes light to trap light. And that's what we're trapping here, is the light energy within it, okay? In the inner core, you're creating a cube within a cube, or what we call the tesseract, okay? And you can do the same thing when you use your 90 degrees. You can reuse those coils you can put in here. There's a space in between those coils, okay, that you can make it original. And I say that, just make a Trinity wire and run it through the center, guys, and connect it, you know. Just make a long Trinity wire and put it through the center of your coils. And now whatever you put in, you got 3, your coils turn from 2 each to 5 if you put a Trinity in there, okay? If you put a quad core in there, or let's say 5 in there, okay, now you've gone to 7. You see? So, you know, you can decide how strong, how big your coils are. You know, whatever fits inside of there would be perfect. And, you know, I would suggest that you use the cold caustic if you have access to it, because this nano coating is fantastic. It's beautiful. It's doing its job. Okay. This is what it looks like when you use the chemical version, okay, of cold caustic. The mixture that you guys saw me make online is here. I just put this into a little plastic bag, and I shook it around. The water turned to blue at the bottom, and that's usually the potassium hydroxide that I use. And you get this nice, shiny, beautiful nano coating, you know. Kind of looks like Sputnik, the way this is situated. I did the same thing here with, I'm gonna let this one cool off a little bit, but with this device that's in here, okay, I don't know how well you can see this on the screen. All right. I put this in here a couple hours ago, or not even an hour ago. It's 5:20 now, so yeah, about an hour ago I put it in here, and I just shook it up in this plastic bag. This is a gallon freezer bag, and then I set it off to the side, and I can already tell that it's starting to nano coat. Okay, you can see the black on it. Okay, that's just spraying it. You don't need anything fancy. All right, that's a freezer bag, guys. I got the cheapest mass production lab in the universe right now. Okay. Now, we're going to go ahead and prepare to finish this out. Okay, you're going to need a power inverter, all right, for your vehicle if you're going to use it, or if you're going to connect this to a 12-volt battery. This could be an off-grid system for you. Okay, I haven't tested it yet, but I know some of the Q guys are using a car battery, and this is just for your vehicle. Okay, my first device that I plugged in is already producing hydrogen, as far as I can tell. I don't have any digital meters or anything like that that says so, but I'm using this power inverter. Any power inverter will work. I got this online at Amazon, okay, through one of their third-party sales. It was like $10 for one of these. Typical prices for this kind of wattage was about $20. So, you know, I used you guys' donation money well, I promise. Okay, I'm always looking for the best deal. the cheapest way to do something. So you need a power inverter. You need a multi-plug unit, okay? And I just got a household extension cord. This one is like 12 feet, okay? Do you need 12 feet? No. But I went and bought supplies with it, so I bought a whole bunch of these and a whole bunch of these, and that's what I'm going to be using. So I just picked them up at Walmart. We don't have anything special going on here. This isn't, you know, woohoo! No secrets, guys. And I'm pretty sure that since my webpage is being attacked, pretty soon my personality and my lifestyle, I guess, because I haven't hidden anything. You can find anything you want about me. You know, if you just do a search for Google on the internet on my name, Mike Nassif, you'll kind of get a feel of who I am. You know, I've been doing charity work for a long time. When it comes to like my nonprofit with Take a Soldier Fishing, you know, a lot of you guys are going through my groups that I've created with the little Take a Soldier Fishing stuff. Right before I got into these light energy devices and things like that, I was really big into, well, I got depressed, but before that I was really big into my Take a Soldier Fishing stuff. And, you know, trying to set up events and everything else. And it just got really tiring trying to find people that wanted to donate money, you know, businesses, because it took a lot of money to pay for these hotel rooms and boats and prizes and things like that for people. Now, you're going to use both ends of this extension cord here, okay? And I want to set you up for success for these extension cords, guys, all right? Just cut your cord in half. This right here was a 12-foot cord, so I'm going to have two 6-foot cords. You're going to want a little bit of playroom to be able to position these around when you plug multiple units into it, okay? And if you use the same plug all the time, okay, like I bought a whole bunch of these white plugs, okay, because I know that there's only 2 plugs on here. I only need the 2 wires because we're just making an extension of it, okay, of this unit. And you can plug 3 units into this one plug, all right? So think about that when you're doing this and how you want to position it. If each one of your units had a 6-foot cord on it, that means that you could have a field interaction center of, what, 12 feet, okay, give or take? So it'll give you some adjustment room to put your units out, you know, if you want to put them in according to like sacred geometry patterns and things like that, okay? Because that's what this stuff does, okay, is it recreates those sacred geometry patterns of the flower of life, all right? Every circle that you see in the flower of life is the actual field, okay? It's a single energy field. So when you have a complete circle of life that is, I think it's 42 energy fields, okay, that are all interacted in order to get the flower of life. All right. So we want to learn sacred geometry as much as possible, okay, and try to understand just the shapes. You don't have to understand or try to understand the meanings until you get into the platonic solids, okay, and the shapes and all that kind of stuff. And soon, one of my good buddies, okay, I call him the Shapes Master, okay, he's going to join us, and he's a fantastic graphic artist, okay. Now, to keep things in perspective for yourself, okay, I'm only working with one at a time, all right? And what I'm doing here, okay, is I know that when I've got this part, okay, it's just an extension of this, Okay, so if it has these right here, the plug part of it, all right, then this part needs to go with this. Okay, these two are going to be bound together as one wire. Okay, and when you plug your unit in, that completes the circuit. All right, that allows it to run through all of this, but you want to be able to make it adjustable. Okay.
And if you were wanting to use this off-grid, then you would use the one you had that you put back on the shelf for the car, correct? Or a car battery.
Yeah, you would use it. You would plug it into your power inverter, okay, like this, and you would have your own unit attached to your battery, or this would be a complete off-grid system once this is all hooked up the same way. I had to put this one on pause so that I can make this one, okay, to counter the AI guys. And I'm working on these little things at a time. That's why I need people's help to do some of these experiments for me, or give me funds so that I can do them faster. But this right here, like I said, if you just put a power inverter onto a car battery, okay, after you connect this, okay, then you plug the end of your multi-plug into the power inverter, and you're doing the same exact thing as if you were to plug it into the wall. So yes, whatever you do, you can do this at home, you can do this in your car, okay, or you can take it out of your car and plug it into your home when you're home, if you can only make one, okay. There's lots of things that you can do with this. And if you've got a generator, then you don't have to use your home as your science lab. Does that make sense? So now all I'm doing here is I cut the extension cord in half, all right? And I've got the male plug side, and that's what's going on. It's connecting directly to this unit, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip off, okay, trying to be careful not to cut any of the little wires because there's multi-strands in here, okay? I use the insulation to help twist the wire as I'm pulling it off, okay? This particular one is a little bit more stiff, okay? So now it off mostly before I even get it off here, okay? So we're going to leave that. Now, on some of my previous videos, okay, all I'm doing here, guys, is using my thumb, okay, to roll it over the top, okay, putting a little bit of pressure so that I can cut through that insulation without damaging the wires underneath, okay. And you can feel it when it touches the wire. You don't have to worry about it. If you cut a couple wires or a couple of them break, okay, you can see that all I'm doing here is just twisting with my fingers, okay, and this thing just twists all on its own. Let me separate it. Kind of difficult to do when you have your elbows up. All right. Now, here comes the part that you have to pay attention to, okay? You got to lay your wire out flat, all right, so that your wire is parallel all the way down, okay? Slide your hand all the way down so that that wire, okay, is completely flat, okay? And then you're going to take your hand like you're going to, without letting this wire flip over or turn, you're going to take your hand and hold it like you're going to plug it into the wall. All right? This particular one, okay, has the markings where you can see a bigger and a smaller plug, okay? If I'm plugging this into the wall like this, the right side, okay, is your hot wire, The big side, okay, is your neutral wire. You want to tap into the little wire, okay? Or you want to tap into this side right there. So what you're going to do is see that it follows the right side all the way, okay? That's why it's important to keep it flat, all right? So you're going to, again, hold it, flip it around, keep it flat, okay? And explore and expand your wire. There are easier ways to do this, and I'm demonstrating this, okay? And so if I was to turn it back around, the wire that's on the right, okay, or your left as you're looking at it, okay, is going to be your source, okay? Left is always my source, okay? Well, in this case, that's your positive, okay? You need to connect it to the silver side, okay? Or no, you need to connect it to your positive side here, all right? Because that's what we're doing. We want it all to charge at once. So this right side is going to be connected to the paper towel side, or the positive side, okay, of your unit. You see how I'm wrapping this? Because I know that the energy is going in this way. Does it matter? No. Okay, but for me it matters. So, you know, if you're copying my work, this is what you need to think about, okay? I just follow the energy flow, okay? And then I would connect this one to this side. And the reason why we want to do this is because we got to maintain the same flow in the wire, okay? Remember, the energy is going in, okay, and it's coming out this way. Well, it's still got to travel the same distance, so this wire, the energy that's stuck inside of all of this container here, to speed up in order to catch up with the rest of the energy that's going through your plug that you plug into it, okay? So that's what creates this, what we call the induction field, okay? And what I'm going to do here is secure my wire to the face of this device here, okay? So that I don't have to worry about it pulling out or being disconnected or whatever. Because if it does get disconnected, even though it's nano-coated, okay, if it does get disconnected, that means there's some sort of a trauma, okay, which means that you can interrupt the nano-coating. And if that's the case, then you have no more insulation, and you could get electrocuted, okay? So there is the possibility. That's why I prefer the darker method of my nano coating, so that I am 100% sure. But this has not failed me, and the logic behind it is sound, okay? I have no reason to doubt it. And I don't want anybody to have fear or, you know, hey, Mike Nash have said this or whatever, you know. Just make a suggestion to people, hey, why don't you put one of these infinity capacitors in your device? It works fantastic, okay? And those that have these Q devices, they'll make them, you know. It's okay. If they don't, it'll get fixed. We're not worried about it. Okay? We're not going to stress. There's no need to worry. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's okay. That's a military cadence. I want to come up with a light worker's cadence that we can sing while we're putting these things together. Be all kumbaya. Kumbaya, mofos. All right. Now, once this cools off and it dries, we've completed this as part of the assembly for the actual cube device, for this IQ. And like I've said before, with great knowledge becomes great responsibility. This is like throwing a penny into a wishing well, guys. Okay? You make a wish, it will come true. So be careful what you wish for and be careful of your emotions. All right? We're just here to be aware of our emotions. And if you're doing something out of spite and out of anger, this device will let you know. All right? It's instant karma. Okay? So do unto others as you wish to be done unto you. The golden rule applies. And just be happy. That's all we need. Just be happy here. Be happy that we're here to change the world, make a difference. Okay? As soon as you start making these things and putting them online, okay, it's like putting up a little cell phone tower for the universe. It says, "Hey, look at me. I'm here. I want to party like it's, you know, never gonna end because, you know, we're here. We're gonna have some fun." And this is just the beginning of the fun part. Okay? Now, one of the other things that I wanted to do is I wanted to make a nice steady platform base for this. And one of the ways of doing so is using this wonderful hot glue that we have here that we love so much. Okay? And it really is simple. Okay? Because I'm just going to make a little goop all the way around this thing on the highest points. Okay?
Don't you wish you could like even put like powdered GANs in that hot glue?
Well, you can. I don't know the effects of it, and I don't know that everybody that watches these videos will have access to GANs. But yeah, you can put your powdered GANs into this glue, and it'll work. Okay. So what you're seeing here is I'm just putting glue all over this thing. Okay. And then collect all the spider webs up and stick it on a plastic surface that's cold. Flatten it out. Okay? Let it sit. Let it cool off. Okay. All right, guys. We're going to go ahead and stop the recording here. All right. We're going to stop this recording. Everybody, please stop. The news keep rolling on YouTube.